This video is going to talk about how do we find great people to manage and be part of our leadership teams. Why? A lot of people left our industry during the pandemic. Either they left your restaurant and moved on to a competitor, or they left our restaurant industry altogether. So what we want to do to rebuild our teams, number one, is we need to have an attract strategy. How do we have the right job ad who talks to the ideal candidate so we can get them to show up? There's a lot of hiring going on right now. Even with COVID, there's a leadership shortage. Your job ad needs to talk to the candidate. We can help you with that. The next thing is we need to add in filtering. So how do we filter through hundreds of job ads? And before it was filter candidates out so we can get the gold. The reality is most groups are getting resumes from great leaders that they're not aggressively following up. The game's changed. You can't call a candidate once and expect them to call you back. There's less leaders than there are positions. So we have to hunt and pursue and go after the right people we feel will fit our team. So the filtering process, we have to be clear, how do we sift through all these job ads to find the right people, then how do we pursue them to get them to come to the third stage, which is interview with us? How do we have an engaging and compelling interview process? Not you tell me why you come work for us. Let's talk about what could happen when you join our team. Why would you want to join our team? Here's our values. Should you join our team? So we have the right attract strategy, number one. We're going to start the process of getting our teams rebuilt. The second step is how do we develop our people? This is critical because there's so much focus put on how do we train. We hire a manager and there's a 10-day training process, a 14-day process. Maybe it's a month-long training process. We're literally asking people to join our teams and lead our multi-million-dollar restaurants and dozens, if not 100 plus of our people. So first step is induction. What exactly does induction look like? What does that first 2 weeks look like? How do they get a really good sense for our culture, for our team, for our people, for what we're looking to accomplish? And don't overcram those first 2 weeks. Then we have to train them. How do we manage? How do we lead? They're coming with outside experience, outside perspective. Some of that fits your restaurant and some of it doesn't. I don't care where they came from. There's a train and retrain process required. And then the third step in developing our people is how do we coach them? So how are we going to coach them to draw the best out of them, to show them where they need to work and continue to grow? Coaching is the most critical step in the development stage. The third step is creating and communicating a path to leadership. This is one thing very few restaurant groups do, but I can promise you could have the biggest impact on your people, their growth, and their retention with you and your team. On a path to leadership, it's just a flow from the time somebody joins your team into the junior ranks of management. How do they flow from there all the way up to senior ranks in the organization? And for each stage, moving from supervisor, manager, GM, regional manager, whatever your path is, and we can help you with this, but whatever the path is, what's the expectation in the role? Second step, what does success look like? How do they win in their role? And then the third step, what's the timeline and expectation for them to stay in that role? If we communicate that clearly, we will get great engagement, we will get great retention, and we'll set a clear expectation for the leaders on our team or joining our team.